Welcome to Metamorphic Pathology class. Today we will take up a topic very simple but interesting to understand, that what are the goals of metamorphic pathology. Just every branch or every subject has certain goals or aims, objectives. Similarly, let us study the goals of metamorphic pathology. The first is the setting, means where did metamorphic rock occur? That is the first and the foremost goal. That we have to search out where did metamorphic or metamorphism occur. What was its structural and tectonic setting? The second is protolith, means original nature of the rock before metamorphism. To students who have joined pathology classes in this class, I would like to explain the protolith is the parent of a metamorphic rock. For example, slate. Say shale was protolith of slate. So means the parent of metamorphic rock is a protolith. So the goal is means protolith, original nature of the rock before metamorphism. Then next goal is the grade of metamorphism, means how intense was the metamorphism, what are the physical and chemical conditions of metamorphism. For this we have to look for the relic structures, then look for mineral assemblages, compare to experimental studies, calculate using mineral compositions, garnet, biotite, geothermometers. Right? So this is the goals. Now coming to that, for example, we are talking of protoliths, means if a metamorphic rock had igneous as the parent or the protolith, the term ortho is prefixed. Means if you conclude or if we investigate that the parent of a particular metamorphic rock was igneous, we prefix the term ortho before its name. For example, ortho gneiss. Gneiss is a metamorphic rock, you all know. So if we suffix by ortho, it means the parent of this gneiss was the igneous. Similarly, if we prefix the para before gneiss, it means the parent or the protolith was your sedimentary. So these two terms, you have to have a very sound understanding that ortho, once it is prefixed before the name of a metamorphic rock, it is in itself clear by nomenclature that the parent of that particular metamorphic rock was your igneous. Just I gave the example ortho gneiss. It means the gneiss is a metamorphic rock which you are having right now in hand, say, or in the field. And because the ortho is prefixed, it means the parent of this gneiss was your igneous rock. Then the other names of your igneous rocks, you all know that the common is your slate, low grade metamorphic rock with partly to well developed cleavages, almost all. These are called the metasediments also. Then schist is a high grade slate. You all know this, shale is metamorphosed to slate, then phyllite, then schist. So as such we can say this for schist is a high grade, then slate characterized by distinct metamorphic foliation, abundant platy minerals, some segregation into layers common. Then gneiss is a high grade metamorphic rock, varies widely in composition and in mineral mode, characterized by distinct compositional banding. The quartzite rock is a metamorphosed quartzite, because quartzite is sedimentary also. So if a rock is having quartz as the grains, right, and if they are interlocked, then that is metamorphic quartzite, very fine grained sugary texture. Again, marble is a metamorphic limestone or dolomite, typically unfoliated granular crystalline rock. Migmatite, they are the mixed rocks or high grade gneiss in which you can say felsic bands, granitic composition melt, and mafic areas, right, melting residues or host into the melts into it. Then your granulite, very high grade metamorphic rock, typically banded, foliated, unfoliated. This is granulite. Then your granophytes like granulite but lacking any preferred orientation, platy minerals. Coming to the classification of metamorphic based on the geological setting, we can say means the classification of metamorphism based on the geological setting is the local metamorphism. In that is the, again further divided into two, that is the contact metamorphism and the dynamic, that is fault zones. And the third or second case broadly is the regional or dynothermal metamorphism. Now contact metamorphism, factors that influence development of areole are your temperature of magma, size of the intrusion, then chemical activity of the fluids which migrate, character of the country rocks, mode of emplacement, then stopping develop, and then the forceful emplacement. Rocks that are found in the contact areas are hornfels, massive, fine-grained, sugary, can have many protoliths. The felsic volcanic common, no compositional meaning, melting to hornfels, can have large grains. Then the contact metamorphism, metasomatism in limestone. Exception, you can say the typical calcilicate minerals, the diopside, garnet, your scheelite, your calcite, orostonite. So typical will be the mineral assemblage of skarn deposits or the contact metamorphism deposits. This metasomatism term is slightly different because this is in metamorphism there is a recrystallization, but once we take the term metasomatism, it means along with recrystallization there is also addition of some emanations from the magma. So suppose the AB and CD were two minerals, they will recrystallize to AC and BD. That is simple the recrystallization or metamorphism. But if XY emanations in the same are if added, means AB plus CD plus XY, they will form ACX BDY. This ACX BDY, they are the that is due to the metasomatism. Means something is added from the magma. This point. Then the dynamic metamorphism, that is metamorphism associated with fault zones, right? That is gauge, breccia, such type of will form myelonite. Then coming to your regional metamorphism found in internal parts of your orogenic belts, strong fabric, may evidences of multiple deformation, heating events, metamorphic history related to tectonic evolution. Then your different index minerals for progressive metamorphism and metaphyletic rocks, chlorite, biotite, garnet, sterolite, kyanite, sillimanite. This is the progressive metamorphism that will indicate. Means your chloride will be slate, phyllite, then biotite will be phyllite and schist, garnet, schist, gneiss, sterolite, schist, gneiss. This is called the Merovingian sequence or of these different types. Now coming to your regional metamorphic, you can say the fabric and texture refers to orientation of the crystallographic lattices of the minerals. That is, then 6 common types, that is your protoliths. If you talk of the types of protoliths, or there's 6 common types: pelitic, that is shale, mudstone, quartz, feldspathic, calcareous, then the basic basalt, andesite, gabbro, diorite, such, then the magnesian, peridotite, serpentine, and then the ferromagnesian. So depending upon that periodic rocks, that will be the nature of the protolith. Naturally the nature of that metamorphic rock will depend upon the protolith. Say calcareous protolith means limestone and dolomite form marbles. So naturally once we calcareous protolith is there, that are going to form the marble. Similarly basic protolith is there, then they are going to form your magnesian, that is your rocks, the serpentines, right? Then your iron stones, Precambrian formation के जो ambrose. So that depends upon that, and these metamorphic phases or the, you can say, rocks that have reached chemical equilibrium under particular set of physical conditions. And the phases concept developed by Escola in 1915, a complete template, and the phases of regional metamorphism are green cyst phases, epidot, amphibole phases, amphibolite phases, granulite phases, nigrolite phases. So they response to the PT conditions and they are formed accordingly. This protolith mineral assembly table, from this you can understand that is the means the phases, zeolite phases, the protolith if it is shale sandstone, right, interlaid, then the limestone and the basalt like this. This is for the phases protolith mineral assemblage. So from this table you can see that the different your protoliths, and according to amphibolite, for example, amphibolite phases, you can take any for that matter, that is garnet, biotite, muscovite, quartz. These are the your minerals that are present, and calcite, hornblende, and in case of your basalt andesites, it will be hornblende, plagioclase, garnet, quartz. So depending upon that protolith, naturally the assemblages will be there, mineral assemblage in that particular metamorphic rock. Say if you look at, you can talk that there is a, it is in the temperature in 350 to 750 degree and beyond pressure of 10 to between the pressure kilobar pressure of 8 and 10. So in this, the first you can see the PT conditions or the phases, because that defines it is a temperature pressure, right? So the last that we are talking of the iglogite, that is there, and there is the various minerals that form the amphicite, that is your amphicite is your pyroxene, grass green pyroxene, and the pyrogarnet. So this is the, you can say, you have to understand, and the objects or the goals of metamorphic petrology can be achieved only when we have the sound knowledge of this all your protoliths, metamorphic phases and all. Then you can answer or you can fulfill the goals of your this metamorphic petrology. Thank you very much. That's all for today. We will be discussing next topic in the next class. Thank you very much.